Hey guys, my nitty-gritty here. Welcome back to my channel. For you who's coming back, thank you so much. For you who are new, welcome to the channel. Here I share about my life and everything that God puts in my heart. And currently I am based in Australia, and so I'm just sharing with you guys my experience. So I hope you like it. I hope you do like, comment, share and subscribe so that we can grow together in this experience. So today we are talking about Australia. So if you are someone who has had the desire or is having the desire to come to Australia, these are basically pointers that I have on the process that you would undertake, the official process that you should undertake. Not everything will be the same for everyone, of course, depending on location, university, life, cost, and all of those things. So be sure to do your own research as well. Maybe I'm just one of the statistics in the research. But guys, are you seeing what that sun is doing? But let me adjust it a bit so it's at it. So yeah, I'm just giving pointers so that we can at least have some information out there that I think is important. So feel free to ask more questions. I'll try my best to answer them on the comments, or if you probably contact me. I know some people have tried to contact me on my email. Fortunately, I wasn't able to reply to them as of that other video, but I will try my best to answer these questions. But I think the best place to ask the questions is my social media. I'm more active there. For emails, I usually reserve for very official purposes. Yeah, so that's fine. Anyway, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing that we are going to explore is identification of the country. So what this means is you have to identify which country you want to go to. And so these are the things. I'm going to read my notes because I wrote everything down again today. So you're going to identify the lifestyle, the kind of lifestyle that you want to live. Every single country has their own culture and all of those things, and especially check the international student lifestyle out there. So watch stuff, read articles, whatever it is that you want to do. Just make sure you understand what kind of lifestyle that students live so that you get there. Next, you want to check the weather. Some people like me do not like extreme winter. So the snow was a big no for me because I just don't like the cold that much. And so Perth was a good place, especially because I wanted to come to Australia. So Perth was essentially the place that I saw fit. And then you want to check the cost of living in the bigger cities. Like the cost of living is more expensive. Essentially, it's just like moving into Nairobi. Of course, the cost of living is very high because it's a big city, many people, all of that. So you want to factor that in. And for my girls or guys who are believers, just checking around, seeing how religion fits into the culture so that you can have places to plug in or whatever. But do pray about it, by the way, because maybe God has prepared things for you in a country where there's no that, you just never know. And then also just the genuine desire, like where do you want to go? If you had the opportunity to choose where you want to go, where would it be? So factor that in. Next is identifying the school. So this is whether you want to do your undergrad, your master's, your PhD, whatever it is. Identifying is very important because it will now niche down into the things that you're looking for. So the things that will factor in this process is the reputation of the school. Is it a good school? Do people succeed in the process? What are the likelihoods of international students being in that school? Because some schools it's very hard to find international students. Some schools the international students are full. So you also want a place where you have the opportunity to get there, so that it just makes the process easier as well. Also considering what you want to do in life and what that university majors on. Is that particular course given there, and how is it given there, all of those things. So, and then you also want to check the education quality, because you know a school's quality of education by what people say about it online, whatever it is. So do all that research so that you end up getting good quality education at the end of it all, you know. And yeah, so next thing we are going to go to how the process starts. So now that you have identified which country you want to go to, you've identified which school you want to go to, now we are going into the actual process, the official process. So the first thing you want to do is get a passport. Please, if you do not have a passport and you want to travel out of the country, is the mathing? Is it though? So get it, even if your faith is kidogo, you know, struggling, even if you don't know how things will work out, get that passport. It might just be the step of faith that you need in order to get the ball rolling. And then, so for this particular point, it's optional. Getting an agent is optional. So for me, I used an agency called Envision Australia. They are based in Nairobi. I will put their contacts down below on the description box. And they were amazing. They were phenomenal. The process from the beginning to the end, in the midst of what they could control, they did an amazing job, because they were in constant communication with me. They made sure I had all the documents, and even the ones that I didn't have, they made sure that I am up to date with what I need. I'm up to date with what the process is, what's next, and all of that. And I love that. I love quality service, especially because, like I said in my last video, we are at a vulnerable point. We need someone who knows, and if someone who knows is taking advantage of us, you know what I mean? What's that? So essentially, they really did a good job on just helping me know what I need to do, and then also communicating with the universities. And the good thing with them is they are certified by specific universities to you know, work with them. I remember seeing like the certifications on in their office, and so it's they're qualified. Like you can get, or rather you can see that they are actually qualified to do that kind of job, right? And then next, we want to be able to get all your identification documents. So this is your birth certificate, your ID, the passport, of course, and if you have your driving license, which we'll talk about in another point. It's not compulsory, but it's good to have it. And then you want your yellow fever card. Make sure you have a yellow fever card. That's the thing they check at the airport. You also need your COVID certificate. Make sure you print it for another step that I will mention. And then for most people, do the IELTS exams, the English test, international thing. I don't know the full I'll probably put it on here, the full whatever name, but I didn't do, because I'm doing a master's in communication and I did a degree in communication. So I think they kind of figured that English had been part of the course, so I didn't do the test, but I know that most people do the test. So just check that whatever you want to study needs the test. I do know that you kind of need to study for the test, like just understand how the testing is done. It's not necessarily, no, but it's relative. The difficulty is relative according to every single person. But yeah, I think it's a good test. Like, it's not one that you necessarily need to panic, but if you know what you're doing, well and good. And we've been learning English since nursery, so yeah, I think you'll do well. And then now the educational certificates, which means KCPE, KCSE, if you are doing your master's like I am, the undergrad certificate from the school. And yeah, those I think are the official documents that you need initially, which your agent will inform you. Remember that you can also just call the agents and ask them, what documents do I need? So for me, I paid there are agencies that you don't have to pay. Those are like UNICEF, and this is in Kenya, of course, that you don't have to pay. So if you prefer those ones, go that route. For me, I paid, and I'll be telling you guys breakdown of how much I paid for the whole process, not just to the agent, but yeah, everything else. So I paid. So yeah, so you can pay, you can use the agents that don't pay, but that's what I did. All right, so next we are going to the visa process. So this is basically the launching and everything just that you need to officiate you to leave the country. So there you begin with applying to schools. So I don't know, I applied to 2 schools, and then I did get an offer letter from both, but one, which is UWA, the university I'm in right now, came before the other one, and so I picked UWA. And so you can apply, I guess, to a couple of schools. I don't know how many you can at a time, but I don't know, I guess try your luck and then you'll see how it goes. But you have to get an offer letter. An offer letter is the school saying, welcome to the school, this will be your information, blah blah blah, all of that. And then from getting your offer letter from the school, you will need to pay your school fees. And here now, you need the information from the payer. Is this why you need sorry, I think I'm getting it wrong in terms. So I wanted to mention the bank statement. So this is basically you showing the school that you're able to pay your school fees, and then also paying. So for my school, we paid 1 year. My course is for 2 years, so I paid for 1 year of school, and then I had to present the bank statements. So another question that was asked, let me just answer it now, was how I paid my fees. For me, God is good, I have been able to come through my parents paying my school fees, but I understand that may not be the case for everyone. So I guess now working with the sponsors or whatever process it is, I can't go into detail with that because I don't have the full information, but do ask the agent. Yeah, if you're doing it on your own, you can also contact the university on emails or whatever, so that they can just answer those questions. So you have to pay the fees, and then after paying the fees, now that's when you get something called COE, which is the certificate of enrollment. This is basically the government, the Australian government, being aware that you are almost entering the country. So that one is a compulsory document, because it means that you have been invited into the country basically, and the government is aware that you're coming. So that one is a must. And then from there, now you launch the visa, which will basically mean now you are connecting the Kenyan government and the Australian government to help you leave the country. So here you will have to go do your biometrics, which is basically giving your fingerprints, your picture, all of that. And then now you need to go after that for your medicals. So it's different for every single country, but specifically for Australia, it's quite a process. It's a day process, yes, but you have to do a urine test. You need to have your COVID certificate. We had to do a measuring height, weight. Then they did, I think you were supposed to like go for a checkup or something. They did an x-ray scan. So Australia has a lot of things that they need to see about your health. So they're very careful about that. So you have to go through a process. I know some other countries, you literally just go for either a urine test alone, or you just show your COVID or whatever. But all these things, I believe the agent should be able to do that, or you can also get the information online. Yeah. And then so the process of these things happening, it does take a relatively long time. I don't think it can be done in 1 month or something. Mine took 6 months. So, but it's also dependent on everyone. For some reason, everyone just has their own timings. So that one I can't specify how long it will take. But what I would advise is start very early. Start as early as you can. Even if you don't have all the documents, just start somewhere. Get an agent then. Or if you're doing it by yourself, research, contact the schools, all of that, so that you'll be able to, do things as quick as you want. Right. So now the things to do mid-process. So while these things are going on, so you can imagine, for me the process was 6 months. Amidst the 6 months, these are the things that I was doing. I was looking for accommodation, which, as you may know by now, if you watched that video, I wasn't successful when I came. But I know a lot of people got accommodation before they came into the country. So they just came in and moved straight into where they're living now. So it's possible. But especially when I was coming, there still is a rental crisis in Perth, so it was very difficult, but it's not impossible. So just start, and this accommodation you can find on websites like Flatmates, Gumtree, what's that other one called? I've forgotten the name, but basically these are just websites that you can find accommodation in. And also check your school accommodation, just to see whether there are places that you can stay and all of that. All right. And then also, this is essential, just for like your livelihood here, getting a driving license. So work on your driving license, because when you come here, most people, or rather, having a car is a very essential thing, just to be able to commute, because public transport is really good for sure, but it's also very time consuming. And if you're juggling work, school, social life and all of those things, it's just easier to have a vehicle. And so most people come here, save up, and then buy a car, or they come ready to buy a car, and what you need is a driving license. So make sure you get your driving license, and yeah, that would help. And then research about the lifestyle. I watched everything, honestly. At this point, every type of content about Perth, I was just watching. So that sort of informed my process, or rather informed me of what I am awaiting ahead. And yeah, so that will help to just kind of get yourself psychologically ready to be here. And then find people around the country or the place that you're going to talk to. If you find someone online, or just a friend who knows a friend, I hope you get someone at least. But if you don't have any at all, contact the university. Most universities I know have a student association where they kind of just help international students to figure things out, or even Facebook is really big here in Australia, so most information is also found on Facebook. And yeah, so basically just look into those sources to find what you need and the questions that you answer. You might not have all the questions answered, but it's really a start. And yeah, so now I'm just going to answer a few questions that I was asked, that I know I haven't answered in this video specifically. First of all, there's someone who asked me questions on Instagram on voice notes. I am so sorry. For some reason, my phone can't play those voice notes again, so I'm hoping I've answered your questions on here. If I haven't, please reach out to me. You know who you are, and I will be sure to answer them on DMs. All right, so someone asked how I handled the tuition fee. Like I said, my parents are supporting me in that regard. And then, does part-time work help with payment of fees or living expenses only? So a lot of people here actually do part-time work. So before the beginning of June, I think when June began, so before that, ever since COVID, international students could work for unlimited hours while their courses in session, but now they've brought back the rule. So before the COVID time, they used to work for 40 hours per fortnight, but now they have increased it to 48 hours per fortnight. So essentially, the minimum wage is $23 point something. So if you calculate that, you can kind of understand how much you can earn, or just make the calculations. But I do know that a lot of people are able to pay their school fees as well as living expenses. But what most people do is also maximize on the holiday times, because the holiday time you can work for unlimited hours. Yeah. And then so you can easily have your living expenses sorted and school fees sorted at the same time. Right, then how much did I pay for the whole process? So in total, I calculated about 112,000, and this is the breakdown. So for the visa, I paid for the visa launch, the whole process, with about 65,000. Then for the agent, I paid 20,000. Medicals, I paid 22,000. And other mini expenses that I can't quite put a finger on it. I think either it was related to the biometrics or something, but there was a 5,000 shillings floating around somewhere that I have forgotten what exactly it was for. But basically, 112,000 was how much I used in total for the whole process of everything. So this is also, again, it's dependent on the agent. If you're using an agent, some things are like straightforward, like the visa launch and the medicals. That one is solid. So and then so also you can ask the agent just how much you need, or Google somewhere, but that's the information I have in terms of my process. And then the last question that was asked is how to find accommodation, which I think I've answered. And here a lot of people stay in shared accommodation, so you just have to get comfortable about it, because I know some people are uncomfortable staying with other people. If you find a solid place for yourself, well and good, but most international students stay in shared accommodation, so that's just something you have to get through eventually. So that's all I had for this video. Thank you so much for watching all through. I hope it has been helpful. So like I said, I don't think I'll be doing a video like this anytime soon, specifically for the official process, just because I believe that I don't have all the nitty-gritty information for that. So this is the best that I could do, and I really hope that it has been helpful. And then the next video that I'll be doing about just sitting down is just recapping the 2 months or 1 month that I have been here and just the differences. So look forward to that. And so thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, again, DM me. I won't be doing another video with that information. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like, share and subscribe for more content. See you on the next time.